Hello everyone. It's Rosetta here, certified health coach, educator, and speaker at Simply Health, coming to you with another talk. And before I get going, would love for you to hit that thumb icon if you like my videos. Please consider subscribing to my channel and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of my videos. Okay, today, what am I going to be talking about? Well, I'm going to be talking about something that I recently came upon, and it's been in the news. And I want to highlight this because it is kind of important, and it is about something that I've talked about in the past. You know that I like to offer and give suggestions to others on healthier alternatives. And I like to give alternatives to sugar. So instead of using white sugar, you can substitute with any of the natural sweeteners like honey. And what else is there? There's maple syrup, there's date syrup. Dates, the whole dates is a good way to sweeten things. You can use monk fruit, stevia, erythritol. So those what are the good sugar alternatives that I have been talking to you about in my past videos, and also my healthier food reviews, because a lot of the food reviews, or some of them may have had packages or foods that I have reviewed that have these products in them. But the one that I want to highlight today, and this article I found, and I've been hearing about this lately, is erythritol. Now, if you don't know what erythritol is like sorbitol, xylitol. It's a sugar alcohol, and it is a carb naturally found in fruits and vegetables. And it says here, it is 70% of the sweetness comes from sugar and is considered a zero calorie sugar. So that means that when it's 0 calorie, it also is 0 on the glycemic index. And if you know anything about the glycemic index, if you're diabetic, then that's a real indicator of whether that product is going to spike your blood sugar or not. So if it's lower on the glycemic index, your blood sugar will not spike. If it's higher, then it's more likely to spike. So this article I found says, this is the heading, erythritol 0 calorie sweetener linked to heart attack and strokes. That's what studies found that. And I'm just going to read you a little bit of this article that I found on CNN, just to give you some idea of what I'm talking about and to highlight certain parts of this article. So it says that this erythritol has been linked to blood clotting, strokes, heart attacks, and deaths, according to a new study. The degree of risk was not modest, said lead study author Dr. Stanley Heisen. And it says people with existing risk factors for heart disease, such as diabetes, were twice as likely to experience a heart attack or stroke if they had the highest levels of erythritol in their blood, according to the study. So if your blood level of erythritol was in the top 25 compared to the bottom 25, there was about a 2-fold higher risk for heart attacks and strokes, in par with the strongest of cardiac risk factors like diabetes. So we know that a lot of times the number one killer for people that have diabetes is not diabetes itself, but cardiovascular disease. So this is talking about people that have higher risk of cardiovascular disease with diabetes. So the study says there were additional lab and animal research, and the papers presented that erythritol appeared to be causing blood platelets to clot more readily. Clots can break off and travel to the heart, triggering a heart attack, or to the brain, triggering a stroke. Then it says there appears to be a clotting risk from using erythritol. More research is needed, but in an abundance of caution, it might make sense to limit erythritol in your diet for now. In response to the study, the Calorie Control Council, said, as an industry association, told CNN that the result of the study are contrary to decades of scientific research showing reduced calorie sweeteners like erythritol are safe, as evidenced by global regulatory permission for their use in food and beverages. So what they're saying is that this Calorie Control Council is trying to refute that and saying that it is safe. There's been no evidence that showing this, and it's safe. So obviously, if they're the Calorie Council, they're going to side and be biased and say that it is okay. So that's what they're saying here. And then it says, it's becoming the sweetheart of food industry, this erythritol, extremely popular additive to keto and other low-carb products and foods marketed to people with diabetes. So you've seen products out there that say keto because keto has become very, very popular, keto diet, and people seek products that say keto on it. I myself don't advocate for any particular diet. I advocate for a healthy living with an emphasis on disease prevention and healing. And one of the products I do like is erythritol until I came across this article. I'm treading lightly with caution. This erythritol to me was natural along with stevia, monk fruit, and all the other natural sugar substitutes. But I do eat keto products that have erythritol in them because I think that it's a great sugar alternative and it won't spike your blood sugar. And it says here, erythritol is also the largest ingredient by weight in many natural stevia and monk fruit products. And they're exactly right, because when you go out and you look for some monk fruit products, and I have actually mentioned a particular brand called Lakanto, the first ingredient is erythritol, and then it says monk fruit. Other brands couple the erythritol as a #1 ingredient with stevia. So it is the main ingredient in those natural sugar alternatives. And it says here, and there was an unexpected discovery. The discovery of connection between erythritol and cardiovascular issues were purely accidental. So this came across as accident. They weren't looking for this. It was just by accident they came across this. And it says Hazen's research had a simple goal: find unknown chemicals or compounds in a person's blood that might predict their risk for heart attack, stroke, or death in the next 3 years. So to do so, the team began analyzing over 1,000 people, blood samples of people at risk for heart disease collected between 2004 and 2011. And they found this substance that seemed to play a big role, which the substance meaning erythritol, but we didn't know what it was. And then they discovered it was erythritol, the sweetener. The human body naturally creates erythritol, but in very low amounts that would not account for the level that measured, he said. To confirm the findings, Hazen tested another batch of blood samples from over 2,000 people in the United States and over 100 people in Europe. And about 3/4 of the participants in all 3 populations had coronary disease or higher blood pressure, and about 1/5 had diabetes. And over half were male and in their 60s and 70s. In all 3 populations, researchers found that higher levels of erythritol were connected to a greater risk of heart attack, stroke, or disease within 3 years. But why? To find out, researchers did further animal and lab tests and discovered that erythritol was provoking enhanced thrombosis or clotting in the blood. It says clotting is necessary in the human body so that we wouldn't bleed to death, obviously. So if you bleed, then we have to have some kind of clot to help it stop from bleeding, stop our blood from bleeding. The same process is constantly happening internally as well. Our blood vessels are always under pressure and we spring leaks, and blood platelets are constantly plugging those holes all the time. However, the size of the clot by platelets depends on the size of the trigger that stimulates the cells. And he explains, for example, if the trigger is only 10%, then you only get 10% of the clot. But what we are seeing with the erythritol, get this, in the platelets becomes more responsive. A mere 10% stimulant produces 90 to 100% of clot formations, For people who are at risk for clotting, heart attacks, and strokes, like people with existing cardiac disease or people with diabetes, I think that there's sufficient data here to say, there's sufficient data to say stay away from erythritol until more studies are done. But they are also saying, on the other hand, from the University of Victoria, Australia, a professor in chemistry says that he noted that the study has revealed only a correlation, not a causation. However, in my opinion, I think this is quite serious if they found this, and especially when a lot of these products on the market are marketing to people who have diabetes, have to be careful of their sugars, and keto products are one of the better alternatives because they don't raise blood sugar. So this is a bit of a concern. So there is another study done in this article with healthy volunteers, and I just want to read a little bit here. It says, in the final part of the study, 8 healthy volunteers drank a beverage that contained 30 grams of erythritol, the amount many people in the US consume. According to the National and Nutritional Examination Survey, which examines American nutrition each year, blood tests over the next 3 days tracked erythritol levels and clotting risks. 30 grams was enough to make blood vessels of erythritol go up to 1,000-fold. It remained elevated above the threshold necessary to trigger and heighten clotting risks for the following 2 to 3 days. So just how much, they say, is 30 grams of erythritol? The equivalent of eating a pint of keto ice cream. And then it says, if you look at nutritional labels on many keto ice creams, you'll see reduced sugar or sugar alcohols, which are terms for erythritol. So yes, a lot of companies that offer keto products do say erythritol, or they say sugar alcohols. And erythritol is one that I prefer, and I'm concerned because I don't eat a lot of ice cream, but for people out there that do eat the keto ice cream, this is something that we might want to be alarmed or just be aware. And don't go rushing out and saying, wow, I'm going to get, blood clots or heart attacks, because that's not what's going to happen. They're saying that it is higher for the risk of people that have higher risk of heart attacks and diabetes. And if you are concerned, you want to do your own research, that has to be done. Don't just take this article for what it says, but just put it in the back of your mind and be, thinking about it and do some more research, because I'm not here to say you should stop taking erythritol. I'm not saying that you should continue either way. I'm not swaying you either way. I'm just wanted to come on here and make you aware that this is a study that's come out on CNN, and there was an clip on Good Morning America talking about this as well. But now I just wanted to make you aware, everyone aware, because I myself I'm very fond of erythritol. I've talked about it in many of my health talks and in my healthier food reviews, and it has been a great sugar alternative. But we're going to have to do some more research on this and figure out exactly what's happening. If you have more information, I'd love for you to put it in the comments description below so that we can all learn. And I hope that you've learned some good information, got some good information today. And I'm hoping that I made you aware of this, because this is a first for me that I found it out from this article on CNN. And I was shocked, and kind of like not another thing that's going to cause or may cause, health issues down the line. So we just have to be a bit more careful. So hopefully with this information, you can take it whichever way you want and take precautions or not. It's up to you. But I hope you learned something and you're going to at least consider taking a deeper look into this. But thank you everyone for watching my video. I always say your health matters. And please If you liked my video, hit the thumb icon. Please consider subscribing to my channel and hit that bell notification. Thanks a lot. Take care, everyone. Bye.